Small Business Matters, where we talk about all things small business. We're going to talk about some of the journeys. We're going to talk about the successes. We're going to talk about the challenges. And we're going to talk about the stories they tell and the products they sell. Today, my guest is Carlos Sanchez, the president of Miami Water Heater. Carlos, how are you today?
How you doing, Carlos? Nice to meet you.
Good morning, or should I say good afternoon? Yeah. Good afternoon to you, because what time do you open your doors?
6:30 in the morning.
6:30 in the morning. So why so early, Carlos?
Well, because most people realize they don't have hot water when they try and take a hot shower. And that really sucks. And then people will get frustrated, and then they'll say, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I got to get this solved." Well, they want to know that somebody's going to take care of them right away. So they're going to call at 6 when they're getting ready to go to work or whatever to see what time we can get somebody set up. So if that's the case, then we want to be able to answer the phone for them at that time. So we open early, we close early, or let me rephrase that. The office closes early, because when the office closes, the calls are forwarded to my cell phone. So I take calls up until 11, 12 o'clock at night. Hell, I've answered phone calls at 5 in the morning. Not that I like it, but I've done it.
Okay. So. All right. So basically, we now know that you don't sleep as president of Miami Water Heater. But tell me about Miami Water Heater. I mean, it's an amazing story. The company has been around since 1949.
Yes.
And you do and sell just one thing. How have you survived all these years?
Well, because we're specialists. That's what the key is. So yeah, Miami Water Heater started in 1949. We were actually next door to where we are now, the building right next door. Well, after they were in Miami Water Heater in 1949, in 1951, George Harkin, which owned the business back then, built this building for Miami Water Heater and moved it next door, basically. And we've been there ever since. My dad bought the company in 76. I took it over in 98, and I've been running it ever since. And it's funny because there's only 2 of us in the whole United States that actually specialize in just one thing, according to REAM, or water heaters. I only sell water heaters. I don't sell plumbing. I mean, I have plumbing. I can bail somebody out of a situation if they need it. I'm not plumbing. I have copper, fittings. I can bail somebody out to help them with an installation. But I don't sell fixtures. I don't sell bathtubs. I don't sell jacuzzis. I don't sell any of that stuff. So how do we compete with the big box companies? 1, we try and keep our prices as competitive as possible. And 2, we give you the service they can't. We have the knowledge. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I had one of my sales reps from REAM actually called me this morning before I came in, and he actually asked me, "Hey man, I have to pick your brain." I said, "You're gonna pick my brain about water heaters? You work for REAM." He goes, "Yeah, I know, but with how much you know about tankless water heaters, my parents passed away. I just got a trailer home, and I need to know what to do about these water heaters. Can I put tankless in there?" And we started going over it. And we went over every option that he had on how to put tankless. He hasn't made a decision as to what he's going to do yet. But the funny part is that somebody that's been working for REAM for so long called me to ask me for my opinion. And that's because this is all I do all day. I am making sure that people get the service, people get the water heater they need, people get everything they need when it comes to hot water. We don't want anybody taking cold showers. That sucks. And most people, if they take a cold shower, they're not in a good mood, and then there's fighting, and we don't need that. We want more happiness in the world, so let's make sure everybody gets a hot shower.
Got it. Yeah. So several years ago, I walked into your business, and there wasn't a heck of a lot going on. So there you were, not even a 7-figure company back then, and what a transition. Here we are 5-6 years later, and you're a multi-million-dollar company at this point. What changed?
Attitude. I think I'd gotten complacent with the company. When I first came in 98, I wanted the company to grow. I wanted to do all these things. I looked into being a full supply house, plumbing, fixtures, everything. And I looked into it. My dad let me do it. He let me look into it. And then when we sat down to discuss it, he says, "Is that really what you want to do? Because that's not work. You're not going to work. The office cannot be open anymore from 7 to 3. the office has to be open a lot longer. And I realized through other things that the most important thing to me was family. And I want to make sure that I'm home when my kids get home. I want to be able to go to all of my daughter's basketball games. I know it sounds terrible, it's crazy to think, but I wanted to go to my daughter's ballet recitals. That was to me. There's nothing more important than family. And if all I'm gonna do is work, then why have a family? It makes no sense. So the whole thing was stay focused on one thing that I'm really good at, that I've known all my life because I used to work at Miami Water Heater in the summers when I was a kid. So it's something I've always known, and I can do this very well, and I don't have to give up my family time, which is very important to me. The other thing was that, like I said, because I had gotten complacent or stagnant, I wasn't giving the customer service that I should have. It was to a point where if I was tired or whatever, I might not answer the phone when they called after hours, or I might just say, you know what, like my dad did, which is why he actually retired, because he decided he couldn't do it anymore, is he started telling people, you know what, there's too many questions. Call somebody else. We're not interested. And I told him, I said, wait a second. When I heard that, it turned something on in me and said, wait a second. You can't tell our customers to go away. Because if you do that, then what are we going to do? They might as well close the doors. So I refocused on getting us into better customer service. So we have, like, for example, we have customers that call us. We have on our website, we do daily, different things. As a matter of fact, you do all this marketing for us. And one of the things is we tell customers, hey, even if you have questions that have nothing to do with us, that we can't supply you a water heater, but you have a question, call us. We'll answer your question for you. And I get that a lot. I get people calling me from Michigan at 7 o'clock at night, because to them it's only 5, so it doesn't matter, or 4. And they'll ask, and they'll ask me to walk them through why should they go tankless or should they not. There's sometimes when I tell a customer, you're better off staying with what you got. Don't go tankless. Tankless is not always the way to go. It's great. It's a great thing, but it's not the end all be all. Heaters nowadays are very efficient, so there's no reason to have to go tankless. But like I said, we will answer your questions. Whatever questions you have, we'll answer them. Whether you're going to buy something from me or not. And one customer actually asked me, why are you, I think after a 13-minute conversation, he says, why'd you spend all this time with me when you knew you weren't going to make a sale? I said, because I don't need to make your sale. But now you're going to hear somebody one day is going to tell you, I need a water heater. And you're going to say, wait, call Miami Water Heater. Because they're the only ones that are going to answer your questions and be honest with you and tell you what you need, not just try and sell you something. We don't work off commission. So there's no benefit to us pushing you into something bigger, something smaller. There's no benefit to it. We just want you to be happy. We don't want you, our motto nowadays is, we don't want you as a customer for today, we want you as a customer for life. And we don't want just you, we want your family, your friends, we want everybody. We want you to give everybody, bring them to Miami Water Heater. Because once they do, they're not going anywhere else.
All right, so you brought up customer service, and you were a little easy on yourself talking about customer service from back. I mean, I heard some crazy conversations at the beginning, and it's been a real turnaround, I have to say. And like you said, I think it's a whole cultural change at Miami Water Heater. But one of the funny things I gotta say it and remind you of this is that I have become your customer service confessor, because it's funny because now. And before I tell that story, tell me about reviews and the importance of reviews for your business.
So you say I was very lenient on myself. Yeah, I think I was, because if reviews would have been around back then when we first met, I think I probably would have had a 2.1, 2.2 star rating.
Well, when we started, you were in the 3s, in the low 3s.
Okay, so. Well, there we go. So I knew we weren't very good. But we changed that around. We talked about it, and nowadays we are a 4.4, and we strive very hard to try and get a 5-star rating from everybody. If, for example, if somebody gives us a 4-star rating or a 3-star rating, I will reach out to the customer and ask, what did we do wrong? Because if I don't know what I did wrong or what my employees did wrong, I can't fix it. But if I do, we can fix it. And I will do everything possible to make sure that that customer understands it. It was whatever we messed up, we are going to look into it, and we're going to address it and make sure it doesn't happen to the next customer. I apologize. We can't make everybody happy. That's it's just human nature. There's no possible way, but we should definitely try. And I would love to get my rating right now. I think I'm a 4.6. I would love to be a 4.9. And I think we can get there because we have specialized in trying our best to try and make sure customers are happy. And make sure that when a customer says, hey, I need this, they get this. They don't get that. And that's where we want to make sure to focus on our customer rating. And yes, you're right. There was a few times that we told customers to go fly a kite.
That's a nice way of putting it too.
Those weren't the words we used. But I don't remember the last time I've told a customer to go fly a kite.
Yeah. So you said something very important, and you answer your reviews on whatever it is, Google, Yelp, whatever it may be. And that is very important. And you don't get, I know we talk about it, you don't get defensive. You just address the issue, tell your part of the story. And that's really important. Whether really it's a good review or a bad review, you always want to answer. You always want to let them know either you're appreciative, and really you're appreciative for all reviews, even the bad ones, because that only makes you better.
Yeah. If I don't get the bad ones, then I would get complacent, think, oh, everything's perfect. I don't need to worry about anything else, and that's not the case. There's always something we can fix. There's always something we can get better at. One of the things that we used to do for a while, Reem doesn't do it as much anymore, but I used to go to class. As a matter of fact, when I first took over Miami Water Heater, I would go to class every 2 years to learn on all the new things coming out. I even had my right-hand man is my cousin George. He runs my office. Him and Danny. Danny's been with us about. Funny thing is, Danny came in and said, "I'm only going to be here for about 6 months."
I remember that story.
Because this is just part time. I want to go back to school. And 4 years later, actually, he just told me he's about to be his 5-year anniversary. He's still with us. And you know what? I take pride in that because I make Miami Water Heater into a family business. We do everything to make sure and to a fault. And I get people tell me all the time, you run this as a family, not as a business. Well, I think if you're happy where you are, you don't look at how you're going to do something else. You just want to stay. Well, we've got our employees that we've had for quite a few years. I remember one of our employees, Ralphie, you just retired after 40 years with us.
40 years.
40 years with us.
So let me talk. We're going to go back to the confessor story in a second, but now that you talked about employees, here you are running a multi-million-dollar business. It's not an easy business. I've been there when you've unloaded. As a matter of fact, I helped you unload one of the trucks once, and you do that with just 3 employees. I mean, your revenue per employee is off the charts. How do you do it?
My guys care because, like I said, we make it like a family. And it's actually, you count me because I actually unload trucks.
I know.
I unload 2, so it was 4 of us that unloaded the truck. But they care. So they try to help the business grow. So long as the business is growing, they're growing. The more I've always told them, hey, whatever we can do to make the business better. If you guys have opinions, tell me. I'll listen. We might not go with everything that they think of, but they've come up with some ideas that are pretty good that we've implemented. So it helps to be able to have a small company when your employees care. They treat it as if it's their company. And that's what my employees do. They treat it as if it's their company so that they try to make sure that it's running the way it should.
Okay. So back to the confessor story. So this is pretty funny. Every time there's a review under 4 stars, it doesn't have to be a 1 star, it doesn't have to be a 2. No, anything under 4 stars, Carlos will call me and he'll say, Carlos, this is even before that happens. It's the possibility of a bad review. He'll call me, look, we may get a bad review, and here's what happened. And so we know how to address it when that bad review comes in. But back to a little bit of the marketing of your company. So, several years ago, we started, the website has evolved.
Yes.
You got onto Amazon.
Yes.
And Amazon, I know, has been an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
It's had its highs and its lows. And tell me about some of the highs and some of the lows.
So the funny thing is I met somebody at Amazon walking through a Plumber Association show. And I was walking through and some lady came up to me and she says, why don't you sell on Amazon? I said, why would I sell on Amazon? And long story short, I decided to sell on Amazon. And it took off. It was crazy. The funniest thing is that right now my biggest competitor on Amazon is Amazon.
That doesn't sound like it's fair.
It's not. And that's my complaint with Reem all the time. I said, how do you want me to beat Amazon? There's nobody bigger than Amazon nowadays. Who? Apple? Maybe? If that, there's nobody can beat Amazon. So I was complaining to Reem. I said, put me on a fair playing field. If I got to pay a commission to Amazon, then their price to sell to me should be 15%. Their price to buy from you should be whatever our commission is, higher than what I sell on Amazon, what it cost me to sell on Amazon. Fair is fair. If not, you're making me fight, David fighting Goliath, but you're not even giving me the rock for the slingshot. All I have is a slingshot. That's not a fair fight, But that was it. We got on and it took off. We were selling like crazy. It was an incredible roller coaster. And then when we got to the highest point, we had somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody reached out to Amazon and said, hey, they're selling counterfeit water heaters.
It's a dirty game, isn't it?
Yeah. And Amazon shut me down. Shut me down for probably about 3 or 4 months. And that was, at that point, we had, a lot of my business went to the Amazon portion. That's where we were focusing. So basically for 3 or 4 months, they almost closed. I'm not gonna say closed because we have other things we do, but they took away probably 50% of my business, which is very hard to and on top of that, right before the pandemic. So it was very hard to deal with. And Amazon, when you complain that somebody's doing something counterfeit, they don't ask you about it. They just shut you down, and then they investigate. And it got to the point where I had to hire a company to get me back on Amazon because nothing I could do would prove to Amazon. They would even tell me, send us the invoices showing that you have purchased this many water heaters. I mean, at that point, we were selling, I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 water heaters on Amazon a month.
Mm-hmm.
And the glitch was that the program that Amazon uses to verify it, you can only send a certain amount of invoices. Well, that's great, except that I was sending 50 pages of invoices. They could only accept, 10 megabytes or whatever, 20 pages. They said, you don't have proof that you got the other one. So I had to hire a company to actually get me back on to Amazon. Wow. And I did. I won because my heaters weren't counterfeit. They were bought directly from Reem, which is the other funny part. Not only do I only sell water heaters, I am solely a Reem distributor.
That's another amazing thing. You have one brand as well.
Yes, I do. One brand.
Just one brand. I'm sure they've treated you pretty well.
They do treat me very well, but they know that I am very good for them too. First of all, Reem is the best, in my opinion. Reem is the best there is on the market. And not so much, they have great heaters, they do, but basically because of their customer service. And yes, I am their customer service here in Miami, but Reem has always looked at it as saying, hey, take care of our customers. Don't give them headaches. If there's something simple you can do, do it, but make our customers happy. We don't want our customers talking about
Aren't you their warranty shop?
I am their warranty shop. So that's one of our sales pitches, actually. Because when somebody says, hey, why should I buy from you and not from Home Depot, for example? Well, here's why. Because when you buy from me, if there's a problem, you don't call Home Depot for them to call Reem, for Reem to call us to go fix it. No. You call us. And that's it. When there's a problem, I can write up my own service calls. I can take care of my customers. I can't do it for anybody else, any other distributor, unfortunately. I wish I could, but I can't. But I can write up my own service calls for my customers. So when you call me and you say, put in my water heater, one, you don't have to call me, buy a water heater from Home Depot, then figure out what company they're using to install it and who's going to do the service after. No. I'm your one-stop shop. I'm it. You come to me and you don't have to go anywhere else. I sell you your water heater. I install your water heater. I deliver your water heater. And if there's a problem, I fix your water heater. Nobody else can say that.
All right. So, you talked about David and Goliath. Amazon is the ultimate Goliath. Yes. But like you said at the beginning, you also compete against big box stores. I mean, I could go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a water heater. So, and I know you've been told for certain units you're number 2 in the country, and
yes.
Reem isn't going to tell you who number 1 is.
No,
but you can pretty much suspect. How do you compete?
Because I try and keep my prices competitive, and I compete not only by. I might not be able to beat the big boys, the Home Depot, the Lowe's, and stuff like that. I might not be able to beat them, but if I can stay close to them, we're talking about in price. I might not be able to beat them in price, but if I can stay close to them, here's the thing. For example, you go buy a Home Depot tankless water heater from Home Depot, a Rheem tankless water heater. You go buy a Rheem tankless water heater from Home Depot. They have it. They have a bunch of different brands. I only have one. They got a bunch. Okay, you go buy it from them. There's a problem. What do you do? Call Rheem. Well, but Rheem.
You can't call Home Depot?
For what? Home Depot doesn't have anybody to do service.
Okay.
So now you call Rheem. Well, Rheem says, okay, we don't give you labor warranty. There's no labor warranty. You got to find somebody to fix it. Tell us what part you need. They'll send you the part, and then the person has to come back and fix it. Well, guess what? Now you're paying somebody 2 trips, a water heater that costs, let's say, $299, and you're paying a plumber, there's no plumber out there that's going to charge less than $150, if that little. But now you're paying them 2 trips. You could have just bought a brand new water heater.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Well, that's where my niche comes in. If you buy a tankless water heater from me, I give you 1 year free labor. You ship the heater to me, I'll fix it and ship it right back to you. And our turnaround time is within 24 hours.
Impressive.
I mean, 24 business hours. If you send it to me on a Saturday, or send it on a Saturday, we're not open on Saturday. On weekends, that's family time. So I won't get it till Monday. But if we get it on Monday, by Tuesday, midday, your heater's shipping back out. And the only thing you're responsible for is the cost of shipping to and from. Everything else, we cover. Parts, since we are Rheem's warranty shop, we have the parts in stock to fix your water heater. And we don't charge you any labor. Now, if you want us to come to your house, we'll come to your house and fix it. Again, we have the parts.
In Miami.
In Miami, yes. I'm not going to Michigan to fix a water heater.
Okay.
In Miami, we'll come out and fix it. Our service call charge is $200. But we will, when we leave, we will take with us, when we go to fix your water heater, we'll take 2 things. All the parts we think you need and another water heater. Because if we can't fix it with the parts we have, we're just going to swap out the water heater for you.
Okay.
No charge. The only charge you're going to get is the $200 in-home service. But you don't got to leave. You don't have to take the heater out. Now, another thing is when we install heaters, we try our best to install it where even the customer can take it out if they need to. So we have you put the shut-off valves. You set it up so that if the customer needs to take it out, they can and bring it to us. If you're just a little bit handy, you can remove your own tankless water heater. As far as tank heaters go, well, like I said, we sell the water heater. We sell it. Even if we don't install it, as long as we sold you the water heater, we can still write up our own service calls. So you might have some knowledge on how to install a water heater, and you might say, you know what, I don't need you to do the installation. I want to do the installation. I just want to buy the heater. Okay, fine. Buy a heater from me. If there's a problem, we'll come out and fix it. We'll write up our service call. So long as it's my heater. I can write up a service call on any heater so long as it's my heater. I can't write it up for another distributor, but I can write it for me. So then we can take care of that for you. And that's where my niche comes in, and that's why I can compete with these big box stores. Another thing is, because I used to always focus, before the tankless market exploded, before Rheem really got into the tankless market, because they didn't get into it in the beginning. Now that Rheem has gotten into it, and pushed to grow that market. My market before that was commercial. Mm-hmm. So because
I'm
still very good at commercial. I'm still funny that I was telling you about that group that the classes that I used to go to at Ream. And one of the things that they would tell you in the class is one of the times one of the professors, Don Wolf, who's retired now from Ream, he asked me, he goes, Carlos, would you mind telling people how to sell commercial water heaters? And the first question I asked, is there anybody here from Florida? I don't want my competitors knowing what my tricks are. And I'm not going to give away the tricks either. But the first thing I asked is I asked people, how many commercials do you sell a month or a week? And, I'm expecting answers, 10 a month, 11 a month. And I'm getting answers, oh, no, we sell 2 a year, 3 a year. I'm like, 2 a year. Especially at that time. If I didn't sell at least 10 commercials a month, I was having a heart attack wondering, okay, how the hell am I going to keep my company going? We need more sales. We still sell over 10 commercials a month just by listening to what our customers needs and sizing heaters properly. So we are still big in commercials, not to mention that I have a large inventory of commercial water heaters under my roof. Normally, I keep somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 50 commercials at all times in my office, in my warehouse. So with that, if you need a water heater, if you need a commercial water heater, what we offer you is we will take the heater, we will deliver a commercial water heater, we will deliver the heater free of charge. And if you have the old heater ready to go and you help us load it on the truck, we'll take it away and dispose of it for you. Okay. That's sidewalk delivery. I'm not taking the heater up, 7 flights of stairs or.
You could if you had to, right?
I could if I had to, but not for free.
Not for free. So switching gears for a minute, we talked about David and Goliath, and I know you have some people on your side as well, maybe some superheroes on your side, and we've got a little video to play to show the audience just who is on your team.
All right, I just wanted to come out. I came out to Miami Water Heater, hanging out with my friends here for a while. We were looking, Carlos was explaining to me how to do some videos and how to repair some stuff like changing the temperature on a water heater. But I said, you know what, hold on a second. I want to wish all our family and friends out there and all those that watch us on video a happy holidays and a happy new year. So keep watching us. We got more things to come. Carlos has a lot more things, and I'm even going to have more of my superhero friends come and visit you guys.
About a year and a half or so to get you to do anything on video.
Yes.
And the audience should know that this was not my idea. This was your idea. So it's been a real evolution. Tell me about your whole deal with video now.
So you know what? Now that you're asking me, I want to put it on camera. So you have to. I've been asking Carlos to write a rap song for me, so I can rap. Not to mention that we have other superheroes that are going to be joining the mix and coming to help Miami Water Heater on sales. But videos have helped out a lot. It's funny how it's great. It's great to see how when people sometimes people walk into the office and they'll see me in the office and they'll say, "Hey, Aquaman's here." And I get a kick out of that, thinking, man, it's funny. My friends have a great time.
I'm sure they do.
On that.
And your family too,
yes.
right?
Oh yeah. I wanted to go to my daughter's engagement party dressed as Aquaman, and my wife would not let me.
I don't think I blame her.
But I thought that would be a great thing. Hey, Aquaman's helped grow the business. I think he deserves to be seen.
How about that? You told me a story about you were on a golf course once.
Oh yes, I was playing in a golf course. And this guy comes to me and he goes, "I know you." And I'm like, "Man, I'm really sorry. I'm really bad with names. I don't recognize people very well. Normally I have my sister, next to me, and my sister recognizes everybody, so she can tell me who it is. So I'm sorry. I don't know. My name's Carlos Sanchez. My sister's Christy Sanchez. Everybody knows me as Christy's brother. So maybe you're not. No, that's not it. That's not it." I go, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. And he goes, God, he goes, where do you work? I go, Miami Water. He goes, Aquaman! So I thought that was great. I thought that was very funny.
And that's the power of video. You know, it's great for awareness. It's what's hot right now. And anyway, you do a great job at it. When I couldn't get a word out of you, now I can't shut you up.
No.
So you know, thanks for that. Thanks for also staying committed to the process, because it's been a long journey, and you've stuck with it and you've seen success.
Yes,
so congratulations.
No, thank you, because you've done most of the. I don't deal with the marketing. That's your department. My job is to sell water heaters. Your job is to get me more sales. So together we're a pretty good team.
All right. So thanks for being on the show, and we're wrapping it up. That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned.